Paul, energy, grit, determination, composure, I could go on and on. Everything was there today.
It was everything we've asked. We got the basics right today. That's the big thing we've talked about since Tuesday night, is getting the basics right. And the basics involve working, competing, tackling. We had a fantastic start. It's one of the things that we've not done particularly well this season with our starts to games. Today we were proper front foot. We knew where we could get cause them problems, and I thought every single one of them out there today were absolutely outstanding.
There seemed to be a hole in the way that they defend, and we exploited that. I don't know if that's something that probably is something you picked up on anyway, and that's where we're getting into the spaces.
Well, we set our team up to try and cause them problems. That's what we're trying to do every week. It happened today for us. The big thing, I think, the reason why it happened for us is because we had energy about us. We had an enthusiasm to go and run and to work, and that's the base for everything. That's the I said to them on Thursday that I've sort of gone away from talking about football and talked about work rate, and then over the last few weeks I've sort of thought I'm going a bit too much about working, and it's more than just working, because we've got ability in here to be able to play. So on Thursday the message was, you better get back to working, you better get back to running and chasing and closing, and every single one of them did that today. We were front foot, starting with our defenders. We locked on and got up against their forward players. They changed their shape quite early on in the first half, and we were still able to deal with it. There was just so many good things, but it all starts with an energy and an enthusiasm to go and work hard, and when you work hard you get results like that.
For the goal, Mock's a bit of intelligence. He passed up the opportunity to make that pass to Stretch, gives it to Callum, who makes that pass to Stretch, and all of a sudden we've got such a forward momentum because of that intelligence.
Well, we get players into better positions. We've talked over the last few weeks, about taking an extra pass, about being calm in possession, about by having control of the game, but control of the football, and taking that extra pass just gave us the opportunity for Stretch to get into a higher position, for Callum to be able to play that more precise ball, and there was more intelligence about the way we played today, and that's from start to finish. We had a real desire to try and keep the ball out of the net, and this is a tough place to come. Their record here is as good as anybody in the Football League over the last few years. They've taken more points at home than anybody else, so this isn't easy. We've come here, we've done a job, we've got a great result, and now we dust ourselves down ready to go for part 2 next weekend.
From that great start comes a 90-minute performance that is as good as anything we're going to see this season, because of the way the lads applied themselves.
Well, I think so, yeah, because I think they're a threat as well. I think their 2 forward players are a threat. I thought the 2 wide players were a threat. But we've dealt with it. We knew that their big part of their game was getting crosses into the box, so we had to work hard to try and stop crosses. But then when they did come in, we had to have a goalkeeper and we had to have centre backs who were prepared to go and put their head on it, and that is exactly what they've done today for 94, 95 minutes. And everybody, even the lads who've come on, Toby's battled up front, Corey's come into there, Jaden's come in and done a job. So I said that before the game, it's going to take everybody here. It's going to take a full 18, and it has. And this was the only 18 we've had available for today as well, so thankfully this 18 was enough to get us through it.
I'm sure when the team sheet comes out, fans are thinking, how will this go? Every one of those boys has answered that question.
Yeah, I think when you come into every football game as a coach, as a manager, you always think, how's it going to go? Especially after the little run of results that we've been on. I said in training yesterday, this game today was about a mentality. We had to have the right mentality to come here, to roll our sleeves up, to work hard, to compete, to win first, win second balls, and then if we do that, our quality will come through, and it certainly did in the couple of situations. We got a penalty for the first time. I don't even know if we've had one where every single game we are screaming for players getting dragged down. We had a conversation with one of the fourth officials the other week, and he said that the reason we're not getting penalties is because our players are joining in and pushing back and grabbing back, which I found embarrassing really. So they can't give the penalty. So we have consciously said to ours, do not get involved. You just keep your arms to yourself. You try and get on the end of crosses, and hopefully a referee will make a right decision. Thankfully, Carl Boyson made a right decision today, and I definitely think it was a penalty. There's no argument. I'm delighted to see Christian Dennis smash it into the back of the net.
Right place, right time, Deno, for the first goal. Calm as a cucumber, or whatever, cool as a cucumber for the second, for the penalty. That's brilliant to see, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic! What a great ball in from Jack Stretton as well, though, and a proper striker's finish from Deno. So really pleased with that. We had other chances first half as well. That was causing them problems with Jack on that left hand side, on the right hand side. Sorry, and I'm really pleased, delighted for Taylor Charters, because he's been patient and he's waited for his chance after his injury. And I said I wanted a performance that makes it difficult for Jordan Gibson to get in, and I think that's a performance that makes it difficult now.
Taylor, Jack Ellis, there's a few of them who've come in and they've said to you, yeah, it's me. What are you going to do now?
Well, Jack only found out when he got on the coach today, because we did all our prep yesterday with Finn back playing, and then Finn was a little bit struggling a little bit yesterday, but said he thought he'd be okay, which is what Finn's reaction is to any sort of ailment. And then about, I don't know, just after 7 this morning, I got a message that he'd deteriorated overnight and he was really struggling, and he had to rule himself out. And I think when Finn back tells you that he's not fit to play, you know he's not pulling the wool over my eyes. So when Jack got on, I just said to him, "Are you prepared properly?" And he said, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Because you're starting." I said, "You're going to start today." I said, "So make sure you're right." And I think he's been excellent today. I said earlier, one of their threats was the amount of crosses they get in the box, but he worked so hard to stop crosses. Really pleased with him, really pleased with everybody that we've been able to come to a tough place and get a really, really big result.
Got to mention Thomas as part of the defensive unit, which was a defensive unit of 11. He did his job today.
Oh, without a doubt, he made a really good save first half from a set play where we allowed them to get the header. He's come and he's taken crosses and looked comfortable. Good for Thomas. The goalkeepers, defenders, even wingers who've now turned managers love clean sheets, and that is absolutely brilliant. To come here, get a clean sheet against these lot who are on real good form, and it gives us something to move on to.
Callum and Mox were bossing it. Callum seemed to struggle with anything on him when he went down.
Yeah, he's just got a bit of a problem with his groin. He was a little bit sore at half time and just said he couldn't carry on. So we'd sort of primed Jaden as to what his role was going to be, so he was ready when he went in. And I thought he was effective when he went in there, which was really good to see. So we've just got to keep going. Hopefully Callum's isn't too bad, but we'll assess that when we get back to Carlisle. And hopefully it doesn't make it 12 players absent for next weekend.
For the team, not because of Jaden, you pull him at half time on Tuesday. What does that mean to him to get out there and do what he's just done?
Well, it shows they've all got to be ready. Simple as that. Even if you had a disappointment on Tuesday, you've still got to be ready on the Saturday. And I always say to them, the good thing about League 2 football is that games come thick and fast. And if you've had a bad one, you've got to get ready for the next one, because it's coming very soon. If you've had a good one, you have to forget it, dust yourself down and get on with getting ready for the next one. And that's what we'll do. It's been really good today. Got a good 3 points, but I want to be in the second round of the FA Cup as well. So there'll be no taking anything for granted. And I did say on Thursday that I don't think today's game will sort of change anything going into next weekend. It gives us a lift, gives them something to think about over the week. But they've been consistent in how they've played over the whole season, but certainly the last 7 or 8 games. So we've just got to make sure we're right and we do our preparation as well as we can.
People might be wondering why John Mellish was giving the floor a kick in when he got his booking. It's the 5th, so that's another suspension to deal with.
Yeah, another one. And I spoke to Mels before the game and I said, look, if you go and smash somebody in a challenge and it's a desperation one, I'll accept it. I'm not going to accept a cheap one from you. There was no need for that today. Absolutely no need at all. But I've said this about Jordan Gibson. We're picking up yellow cards for needless, pointless things. That was pointless today. He should not be suspended, but he's going to have to be, and not just because of today, because of the previous 4 as well.
Fans, what do we need to say about them?
Oh, magnificent. What a sight that is when you come out before the game and you see that. Absolutely magnificent support, and I've got to say I thought their supporters were excellent today as well. Total contrast from last season. I thought they were really good, but ours were magnificent. And it's great when you're able to take the lads over there at the end of a game and celebrate with them. That is a real big thing, and I'm quite sure the journey home will be a really pleasant journey. And I was told before the game we've had 4 Cumbrians in the side today as well for the first time in donkey's years. So that's a really good thing as well. So we've got 4 Cumbrians in the team, a couple of Cumbrians in the dugout on the coaching staff. So it's good, really good feeling. It's 3 points closer to being safe, and then we'll see what comes after.
You nicked my question there about the 4 Cumbrians thing, because that matters, doesn't it? The fact that a club can bring through its own.
Well, we have to. You know, we haven't got a bottomless pit of money that we can go and bring them all in. So yeah, it does matter to us. I think it matters to the players, and I'm not saying that players who are non-Cumbrians don't care, because they do. I think when you're from the area, there's a closer affinity with what's going on. So really pleased for them all. Let's see what the week brings.
We'll talk FA Cup during the week, Paul, but in terms of this must be the frustration of a League Two manager. There's a standard being set there. The challenge, keep it there, because we've seen it before and we tend to dip, but that's football.
Yeah, the higher you go, the better the level of consistency is with players. That's just the way it is. That's why they get paid the big bucks. But these lads have shown so far over the season, you know, to be sat in the moment with 27 points on the table, that's a fantastic achievement. So we've got to keep them going though, we really have. I mean, I'm not settling for this. I'm really looking forward to my night, really looking forward to getting home, and I will certainly enjoy a glass of wine tonight and get myself ready for the next one.
Thanks, Paul.